Hello, my friend. This is actually take two. And I tell you what, the devil will not win. I know that there's information I'm going to be sharing with you today that could make a difference in your life. And there are forces out there that would love for me not to be able to get this information to you. We're not going to let that happen. So we set up, I'm on my phone as opposed to being on the computer. Hope you can hear me correctly and everything. This is a Saturday morning power breakfast. And the purpose of the Saturday morning power breakfast is simple. According to the government, 95% of all Americans, by the time they reach age 65, are dead, broke, or still working. And our goal, Angie and my goal, is to help you get into that not 5% club and not be a part of the 95% club. You know, we know this is happening because we see in life where you go to a store like a Walmart and you'll see someone above the age of 65 there greeting you. And maybe they want to get out of the house, but in a lot of cases it's because they don't have enough income coming in and therefore they have to do that. Or you might go to a fast food restaurant and you see someone behind the counter who is older than high school age. Are they there because they want to be? Maybe. But in most cases, if they had all the money that they really wanted to have, they would not be there. So our goal is to help you to have those resources. If you're already over the age of 65, is that you can still get into that 5% club. And we believe the information that we'll be presenting to you on a week-to-week basis will help you along your journey. All that being said, over the last 2 weeks, I've had an incredible opportunity to be at two events. I'm actually still in one of the events right now, but I've had the opportunity to be in two events that have just had so much great, valuable information. You know, it was not only an investment of time, but it was also an investment of money. And being able to go there and get that information and bring it back to you really accomplishes a couple of things. You know, on one regard, it's great because now I have that information that I can share with you that can help you along your path. But then number two, it helps to deepen it for me because I'm in the process of getting that information and sharing it with you. It deepens it within my psyche. So here's what I hope you do. I know this is a different setup behind me and everything. Don't be concerned about that. My focus and your focus should be on getting the information. So I know this is a Saturday morning power breakfast. You may have your Danish and your waffle or whatever right in front of you. But right now I want you to take a sheet of paper and a pen because I want you to get this information. And I know this information, if you have it, can make a big difference for you. So all that being said, as I mentioned, you know, last week I was at Rank Makers Live. And this is an incredible event all about marketing. Great information was shared, information that can help you move on and get into that 5% club. And I will be debriefing this for you. I will be, over the next several weeks, we're going to talk about the stuff I learned there. I started this last week with the debrief. If you haven't seen that, go back, check it out. But we're going to be debriefing on what came out of this event. And it's going to come to you in bite-sized morsels. Power breakfast, get it. Anyway, it's going to come to you in bite-sized chunks so that, you know, you could, number one, digest it, think on it, but then act on it. And then, like I said, and I'm currently in this one, this is the 10X Business Bootcamp from Cardone. All right? And you see how thick this thing is? And we're filling this out cover to cover. There's so much value here. So over the next several weeks, I'll be debriefing you on this as well. Because again, I want you to get this information because if you get the right thoughts in your head, it can feed your thoughts, feed your brain, or your brain can feed your pockets. So anyway, the way I'm going to dig into some of the notes from the 10X Interactive Bootcamp because it's top of mind. I want to give it to you while it's fresh. And of course, like I said, we'll go back over the Rank Makers Live stuff. We'll dig in deeper with this stuff that I'm sharing with you over the course of the next few weeks or so. So anyway, let's dig in. The first thing, and I want to give you a framework. You know, Grant Cardone talks about how you've been indoctrinated. And that's so true. If you think about it, the media, goes crazy. They put all kinds of things in there. They'll give you stuff, the bad news, because the bad news sells, okay? And they'll give you that, and if you're not careful, you're going to get distracted by it. Distracted, so you're not looking at the right things. Number two, you can just become just inept, where you're not even of any value. You're just ineffective, and you're not moving on towards your goals and dreams. Or number three, what's even worse, is that you could take that information and make bad decisions based on wrong information. The Bible talks about, number one, you need to get the information from the Word. You need to get the discernment that comes with studying the Word. But then you hold that up to everything, because there's so many sources of information. You have to hold that up to the Word of God and say, does the information does the information that I'm getting line up with the Word of God? If it aligns with the Word of God, put it into play. Put it into action. If it doesn't, reject it. One of the things that Angie and I have remarked about is that sometimes it doesn't come in a delivery system that you think. You might think, because, for example, because someone doesn't cuss when they share their information, then it must be good information. But someone else who might have a little bit of blue language when they share things, that must be bad information. My friend, I encourage you to look deeper. I encourage you to understand that that's not the case. You have to take that information and you have to line it up with the Word of God. So what Angie and I will do, though, and you can pretty much count on, is this something you can play in the car with the kids, because we're not going to be in there on here cussing. We'll take that information. We have a discernment that we know what's right and what's not right based on the Word of God, and we're only going to bring to you good information without all the cussing and going on. So you get it? All right. So let's dig in. He talks about the three things that you need to do. And the three things that you need to do in terms of investing. I'm going to talk about that one first. Then I have another three things I'll tell you about. The three things you need to do in terms of investing is, number one, invest in yourself. Warren Buffett says that the number one investment you can make is an investment in yourself. So you invest in yourself. How do you invest in yourself? By getting a hold of knowledge. And he says you need to figure out what you need to not only learn. Everyone talks about what you can learn. But what do you need to unlearn? What are things and what are programs and what are paradigms that have been put into you because of things that you learned growing up, perhaps, that are just not real? Hey, Michael, what you want to do is you want to take that information and you got to say, hey, I got to get rid of that information because it's no longer serving me. If the information you're getting is no longer serving you, then make a change. You can do it. The second thing you need to invest in is your own business. And depending on where you're seeing this, there's probably a link or a button or something that you can get a hold of the Octagon Method. You don't know what business you want to build? Go to the Octagon Method. There's information and resources. There's a free course there that will help you understand what you can do to have your own business. I'll explain why that's so important in a moment. The third thing you want to do is you want to invest in real assets. Real estate is obviously a real asset, but you want to do those things. So write those down. Those are three investments you want to make. An investment in yourself, an investment in your business, and an investment in real assets. Now, Grant Cardone was surprised because he's sitting there with his, doing the seminar, and his daughter comes in. And his daughter comes in, Sabrina, and she's 13 years old. And he just was surprised to see her there. But he said, hey, Sabrina, you tell him, what are the three things you need to do with money? And she says, 13 years old now. She says, off the top of her head, no prompting, no have to sit there and say, now say this thing. No. Right off the top of her head, she says, number one, get money. Number two, keep it. Then number three, keep it so that you can invest. You see, the mindset that he's teaching his child and the mindset he's trying to teach others is a mindset of, hey, listen, you get a hold of the money, yes. You keep it, but you don't just sit on it. In this inflationary time that we're in, hanging on the money is terrible because your value of money goes down. But you need to assemble your money, if you will. You need to rack it up, if you will, so that when the chance comes to do an investment, you can do it. So those three things. He talks about your biggest threat. What's your biggest threat? Your biggest threat is disengagement. Disengagement comes because you think the payoff isn't big enough. You think that you can't make a difference. He talks about the fact that there's three major classes. You got the poor, you got the middle class, and you got the rich. And he said that the middle class are folks who have given up on being rich. I even say, well, tell them that's not true because I don't want to be rich. Well, don't have to be rich. But how about having rich resources so that you can bless others and live a middle-class life if that's what you want? Be the person where when a pastor has a vision of something that God is telling him to do, he doesn't have to have a chicken fry in the back of the church in order to fund it. He can come to you and people like you and say, listen, I have a need. We need to do a missionary excursion, and we need to have that funded. And it's, again, you can just say, I'll write you a check, Pastor. How many times have you been in a situation where you've seen something and maybe you gave a little bit because you could, but in your heart, you thought, man, I wish I had the resources to do more. Well, put yourself in that situation, my friend. You can do it. Don't give up on your dreams. Again, know that your payoff can be as big as you want it to be. We talked last time from something from Rank Makers. We talked about dream, struggle, victory. And if you have a big dream and you're willing to go through a big struggle, you can have a big victory. And how it's immature to think that you can have a big dream, a small struggle, and a big victory. What you can do, however, and one of the things that we hope to do with these Saturday morning power breakfasts is give you the tools, give you the resources, invest our time and money and resources and events so that we can get information and get it to you so you don't have to make the same investment, but you can benefit too. All right? So I know we're getting long on time. I don't want to keep you long, again, because I want you to get this in bite-sized portions. Replay this if you need to. Take the notes and ponder it. Think on it. One of the things that happens in media is that it keeps people so distracted that they don't have time to think. The book is called Think and Grow Rich. But if you don't have time to think because you're so busy on that treadmill trying to make things happen, well, you can miss things. So I hope you'll take these messages. Like I said, about 15 minutes is what we'll do. I want to leave you with one other thing to think about. Wealth is a reward for solving problems. Again, let me repeat that. Mike Murdoch came up with the saying. I heard it from him at least. Wealth is a reward for solving problems. The bigger the problems you solve, the more wealth will come as a result of this. Well, when you're bringing yourself to the marketplace, the people that you serve, your money problem is my money problem. Your money problem is my money problem. I want to help you get into that 5% club. Understand this. And I'm going to give you some stats. You can write these stats down because I think if you write these down, it gives you a real good understanding of where things are. Number one, 76% of all people live paycheck to paycheck. Do you think there's a market for someone who's willing to bring solutions to those people? The reason why we have the resources that we have available at the octagonmethod.com are so that you can go there, get those resources for free, and find out how you can serve the marketplace. Because again, wealth is a result. Wealth is the result of solving problems. 76% of all people live paycheck to paycheck. 64% of folks have no money in savings. Zero money in savings. 90% of people have no clue of the biggest expense in their household. That's 94% of people. You think that 94% might have something to do with the 95% we talk about? Things that make you go, 94% of people would fail a financial literacy quiz. I'm sorry, I said 90%. 90% of people have no clue of their biggest expense in their household. 94% would fail a financial literacy quiz. Again, let's get you in that 5% club. 67%, this is according to Fortune magazine, 67% of Americans can't pass a basic finance test. And we wonder why so many people get to their older years and they're having these issues. But there's good news. 10% of Americans collect 50% of all income. I'll say it again. 10% of Americans collect 50% of all income. And then 10% of Americans own 84% of the wealth. My friend, we're going to get you there. We'll get you to the 5% club. Plug in with these trainings I'm doing. Every week we'll have one. Go back over this. Ask yourself, are you a part of those numbers I just told you? Where do you fall? Are you in the 94% who could fail a financial literacy quiz? Keep plugging in. We'll help you with that. Are you living paycheck to paycheck like 76% of people are doing? Man. 64% have no money in savings. Go to the octagonmethod.com. Get a hold of that information. Start working your way out of this situation. The Lord wants you not only to be blessed, but to be a blessing to others. Don't settle. Don't settle. You are created for great things. And that doesn't mean that you have to sit on a big fat wallet and that's what your destiny is to be. But I believe your destiny is to be a blessing. And as my pastor always says, until you fix your money thing, you'll never know your destiny. We will help you with that. That's what these Saturday morning power breakfasts are about. And that's what the octagonmethod.com is about. More to come. Like I said, look at this book. We just went through 3 pages of it. Of this. So much more to get to. Have a blessed week. Replay this video. Watch it again. Write down these stats I shared with you and resolve that you're not going to be a part of the ones that you don't, that are bad, and you're going to be a part of the ones that are good. You can do it. We're going to help you do it. Be blessed. Have a great day. Have a great week. Make this week a masterpiece, and I'll see you next time.